Shall we go? Alright, that works there. Okay, let's start this officially. Hello, Internet. My name is ericremotesteam, and it's Friday, and I haven't streamed in a very long time, so let's address this problem, shall we? I am going to try to draw a background for this piece. Let's hope for the best, shall we? Alright, first of all, I had envisioned this being on wrong color. Well, that'll work. On a pathway, so. Draw in the grass. First of all, if we could not hit the wrong tools, thank you very much. Do I want to have the path running along the, well, definitely. Wait. This is just like what do you call it? Undertones? Undercoats? Probably should have drawn a horizon line here, but I did not. No, it makes more sense for the path to be in the whole frame, I think. If I could just, there we go. Shading, of course, is going to have to go in there, but not yet. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Is this a good sky color? Not quite blue enough. Light enough for my liking. The horizon isn't quite flat enough either. Oh well. This is just a request anyway. I don't have to go all Da Vinci on this. Shouldn't have gone with that small one. Blend in the sky colors. Yep, this was a request by a friend of mine on Discord, who appreciates the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, as should all Pokemon players, I believe. Please don't do what I'm afraid you're gonna do. Ah, yes, thank God. I was afraid that would be mixed. I would not do what I wanted it to, but it did exactly what I wanted it to. I think the sky might be a little too dark, but heck with that. It wouldn't hurt to have a darker green. Should the darker... it's a little bit too olivey. Not a bad color, but I think it's too dark. Just as a disclaimer, everyone, I don't know what I'm doing either. I think I'm going to pick out a lighter green. Oh, ooh, that looks a lot better. This is like a baby green here. I'm going to go with a green that has just a little bit more blue in it, I think. Oh, maybe that's not the right way I need it. Should probably be thinking of things to have in the background, like fence or stuff. I know I want to put little stones in the path. Let's see. General colors of this piece. Shading is throwing it all off. Oh god, these layers. Why there have to be so many? I'll just grab this green. Wrong is right. Okay. Yeah, that seems adequate to me. This color is almost yellow. Edge. Okay, that's more than an edge. I'd like it to be a little more brown at the bottom. I'm not totally sure this is how proper tones, I think that's right, are supposed to work, but I will make it work. Hopefully. Probably not. But yeah, I have DeviantArt and other accounts, which for those of you watching from the future, you can check those out if you so wish. If you like this piece and want to see more of my stuff, or if you want to see this piece finished, it will be up there eventually. Yeah. This color would have been better for rocks. Maybe not exactly the path. What if I did this? Hey, Superstar Pixie, how you doing? For those of you in the future, check out his stuff, it's good. Oh yes, I am, change, words. I am trying to, fiddle with the hair flux, like you suggested. But I think I made this one before you gave me that chunk of advice. Let's see what's around. You talking about pizza out there? Yes, check out Pixie Comics, or Pete. This stuff is good. You should check it out. Featuring Roxanne from Hell and possibly Hawthorne. Note to self, remember bucket tool exists. It makes life a lot easier. Oh, I should have made myself a swatch layer. And I should have also been thinking about where exactly the lighting is coming from. It must be exactly perfect. Perfect. Oh, blather. Family's arguing about pizzas in the other room. Hopefully, none of you can hear that. Unfortunately, it may mean I might have to get off sooner or later. What is a clipping mask? Pete. I've used Psy for a long time, but I honestly think I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to using it. For being a rock, that looks an awful lot like a layer cake. It'll help you skip the step of erasing. I'm not sure. I think that there are ways you can do that, but not uber easy like that. I think to do that you would have to because that's selected. You would have to select the thing like this, and then let's go to another layer. You would have to make a selection over the thing you're doing in order to you won't have to worry about that. A link would be much appreciated. La-di-da-di-da, shooby-doo. Oh boy, that's one rock. Alright. Awfully sharp one. Make for smaller ones. Preferably not all of them that color, because that doesn't entirely look like a rock. That looks less bad. Righty-o. That one does actually look better, I think. Little pebbles on the ground. Airbrush. That's probably a good tool to use, but I am not using that right now. Yeah. In fact, there needs to be fences and trees in the background. That is what I would like to try to add in there soon. How did I draw this? Let me see. Okay, so that's all straight. Please tell me I have the references still in here. Okay, so there are like sort of cobblestones in there. And the path is a bit janky. I done fudged it up. Bit better. And cobblestones. It's kind of a blue-gray color that those were. Probably should just grab it from the picture, but no, that's too low. That's not blue. What am I? What's wrong with me? In fact, those are actually two different colors. Have the loose stones be in a different layer in these. Nah, no, not that shape. That doesn't jive with the perspective, I don't think. Actually, I didn't think through the perspective very well at all. Oh dear. Nope. Dumb idea. Yoink, another color. Let's take this. Can you not do that, please, computer? Thank you. When I right-click on something, I expect you to select it. The whole thing doesn't need to be cobblestoned up, but there needs to be enough for variation. That stone is probably a little too blue, but I'll leave it there. Oh, I didn't close that one. and presto. Does Psi do multiply layers? What's a multiply layer, Pete? I know you can do multiple layers. Ow! This one's almost like the card of pass. Can I not open the wrong canvas once, please? Thank you. That one fades right into the upper shades, so I don't want to do that. I'm sorry for not jumping on your links, Pete. If at all possible, I would like to cause as few, what do you call it exactly? As few tab outs from the stream as possible. I used to have to walk my dog in the middle of a stream, and it made me feel very unprofessional. Professional. That's a good one. Yoink. And something seems a little off with these colors. I know, to do shading, I just put in a flat blue, or two different colors of blue, into a image, and what do I do? Change the opacity of that. In fact, actually, now will be as good a time as any to quickly throw in some shading. Let me see, let's just assume the light's coming in from the top down. That's how I do it for most of my pieces anyway. It's not like the sun's behind them. Let's see, no. All image, invert selection. That did not work for some reason. Come on. Selection. Oh, I was hitting clear when I meant to hit invert. Good job. Righto. Rightio. So Pikachu's tail. Here it's flat, so it wouldn't really have much shading. I don't think it would, because shading ought to imply certain roundness. I know this one has shade. At least it ought to. When you shade, you have to keep in mind that things are actually shapes, and, for the light to contour and bounce off of. That does not honestly come to me very easily. Background. Let's try to keep this so we are where? Come down. Well, naturally on the bottom of the arms. I will definitely keep those in mind, Pete. And I will check them out after the stream. So naturally there would be some shading around the guy's neck and along the bottom of the poke flute. Where his arms would cast shadows on his, oh dear, goes through the outline layer. Coming straight down. Just hoping I don't forget about that shadow on the ground. Shoo-be-doo-doo. Maybe I should try cell shading instead of this pseudo-realistic, well, not realistic, but more. I feel like this takes more thought than cell shading style. Oh wait a minute, the sun's coming right down. That wouldn't be casting the shadow because shadow would be coming from this direction, which it is not. Darn, I was afraid of that, but it's awful. Okay. I don't have any animals on hand to reference the shading on the muzzle. This is literally the worst thing ever. First world problems. I appreciate you tuning in, Pete. And everyone else. There's 4 people watching this. Woohoo! Probably wrong there. It's fine. I don't think the hair would really have much. Okay, a little bit. Might have just a bit along the bottom there. Right here. I mean, you're not really supposed to view this image from super zoomed in, so I probably could get away with messing this up in places, but I don't want to do that. Ooh. What's hangouts on the air? Streaming a draw pile. There's a thought for you. For me to do this stream, I'm using something called XSplit. It's that what it is? Bear with me for uno momento. XSplit Broadcaster. I believe it's free. Though I'm not sure if it can be used for collaborative purposes. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. It must have blacked out when I minimized Psi for a split second. Oh, I suggested draw pile. It just came to mind. That would be fascinating, Pete. I wouldn't mind doing a collaborative stream with somebody. That would be very fun, I think. Heck, I've hardly even done art trades. Aw, well, I understand why you're not super duper busy, Pete. You have a comic to work on. Multiple comics, actually. I should probably remember to toss a link to your stuff in the description of this stream later on at some point for future people. I'm not sure if I should buff out these shadings. I usually do whenever I shade, but I feel like I don't do it wisely. There's another artist who I saw do a speed paint some time ago. She drew a comic called PMD Rad, and I happened to find a speed paint of hers, and it inspired me to do shading like how I do now. But she seemed to understand when to use harder shading and softer shading, and I think I have not. I probably should use harder shading on like this poke fruit here, because it doesn't really have so much. What exactly would you say? It's rounded, so the edge. Wait, no, the edge definitely would be more soft because it's a round shape. But for something that is sharp, like maybe. Well, wait a minute, I missed a spot. I don't know. The point is, I don't feel entirely confident about how I shade pictures. But advertising your stuff is no sweat off my brow, Pete. Did I say skin off my nose? Sweat off my brow? Ah, whatever. Who cares? That is a fair way to go about it, Pete. I think the hard shading certainly does give it a more cartoony look. I'm thinking of some old cartoons I've seen back in the day, like certain episodes of Tiny Toons, and they definitely did have not hard outlines, hard shading. Maybe I'll have to do that on my next one because I already spent some time softening the shade here, and I don't think Paint Tool Psi can undo all of that. Perhaps it can, but if I'm totally honest, Pete, I only only actually watched maybe 2 episodes of Tiny Toons when I was growing up. Any reference I make to it now is stuff I have happened to see quasi-recently. The thing that really messes me up with shading, though, I think, is finding the proper colors for it. Right now, I've settled into just using these 2 shades of blue and fiddling with the opacity of the layer as I apply it. But I've seen, it looks to me, when other artists shaded in such a style, and in fact the shading in those cartoons for that matter, they got us, maybe not a, yeah, a special, they, why do words escape me when I'm live? They chose specific colors for it. They didn't just kind of apply, well, shadows ought to make everything look blue, so just put blue to this. And it's like, no. You see how this yellow for this Pikachu outline is a certain color? They would do that for the shading, not just apply a one-size-fits-all kind of solution. And I'm too lazy to do that. But I mean, dang, I need to watch Samurai Jack, though. I don't think I ever watched that show very much as a kid. I think the setting bummed me out a bit. And also I was just, I never paid attention to when things were actually airing. Oh, to be young. Well, that's another reason why I'll have to look into multiply. Let me see. Is there any shading on that? It's kind of I don't know. Will this work? It might. I'm not certain. Kind of. It kind of works. It doesn't matter. Samurai Jack's been canceled for years now. Well, not canceled, but concluded, I should say. Oh, wake up! Wake up! Let me see. Okay, this hair on this, I believe it's called a fennec. Probably use a little shading here. Probably a little bit here where it ought to be eaten up by the ears. I hear gravel crunching. I think that means that family's back with pizza. What a blessing and a curse. I don't want to cancel. Stream. I'm finally getting in the groove of things. And I have an audience, too. That makes me happy. But on the other hand, I don't actually remember when I ate lunch. In fact, I don't think I did eat lunch. I think I just ate chips off and on today. That's not very bueno. That's not very cash money. Tickly mustache. I hope everybody is having a good day, whatever day that is. If it's live, hope you have a good weekend. If it's the future time, I hope you're having a good current day. Alright, let's see. Straight down, shading. I feel like I kind of messed it up there, but that will have to do. Swoosh, swoosh. A little bit of chest fluff, casting a shadow. Probably shouldn't be that big. Thingy-mabobber here. The thingy-mabobber. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a scientific term for a hind leg. I'm trying to break into the medical fields. Not entirely sure if that's the decision I want to make, but it will have to do. Okay, now leave that be. I feel like this should come down just a bit more. What program do you use to draw, Pete? I've used Psy for a long time, and I think it works pretty well, though I admit I don't really know how to use it very well. In fact, I only somewhat recently learned that if you hit Tab, you can hide the UI, which is pretty nifty, but it wasn't very fun when I first discovered that because I thought the program glitched, and so I restarted it. That was kind of funny. Cool. Talk to you later, Pete. I may have to scamper off as well, though, as much as I don't want to. Oh yes, you do draw on an iPad. I saw you do that once on Instagram. Oh man, now this is on the face. On the face, it's looking very nice to me. Huh? Oh, I see. For some reason it didn't select in the tail. I'll have to check out Procreate. I'm mature. Fun name. No. If the sun is shining straight down, the top of this mule's muzzle wouldn't be shaded at all. This eye looks very strange. Not the eye itself, but the space around it. Oops. Let's see. I don't think that's so bad, actually. I think it implies a little bit of a brow line. Thank you, Brother Pete. Best of luck with your dinner. I, ladies and gentlemen, will do my best to return. Oh, fudge, I cannot pause the recording. Do not fear, I will return and do my best to edit this in future. I shall return. Coming. I'll be right there.
Right there. Yeah.